And welcome back once again to Idrathkor Irolsazir, Northbridge. Right at this particular moment, it is the 3rd of Limestone, early autumn of 115. Our 14th year here in the fortress. Isn't that remarkable? Certainly doesn't feel like it's been 14 years, and that's because I have lied to you. It's only been 7 years, which doesn't really feel like that much to me. But yes, we've only started off here in 108. 7 years, that's all it's taken to come this far. And these days we're doing pretty darn good for ourselves too, despite the constant attacks by the frogs and the elves and the goblins. We always seem to come out on top, no problems whatsoever. In fact, a little rundown because we haven't had one in a while. Our population right now is 208 dwarves. 208, we've been at 200 for a while, which, I mean, that is our cap of migrants that we've allowed here into the fortress. But beyond that, we've had quite a few births in the fortress. Little baby dwarves, 8 of them. It's really good to see. On top of that too, the number of angry dwarves is dropping by the day, which again is always good to see. A little bit of downtime seems to really help. Go figure, huh? Imagine how happy they'll be when we get those mist generators in place. Yeah, one day on that. It'll happen eventually, I'm sure. But hey, at least we have a full well now. Fresh water if we need it, both for drinking and for hospital usage, so that's good. Our food stockpile's looking pretty darn good these days too. We have plenty to drink, plenty to eat, all cooked into fabulous meals. Yes, things are going extremely well here in Northbridge, and yet we still have a great number of things to get to, as always it seems. And so on that note, shall we get to it? I think so. Well, first and foremost, before we do anything, we're gonna have a look down here towards the watery frog tunnels. This here is our recent big fortress project, and we're gonna be pecking away at it constantly. It has been a non-stop hassle, and I'm starting to wonder if it's even worth it. As you can see right now, there's a group of frogs coming up, but our soldiers are stationed there, so it shouldn't be a problem. Remember, what we're doing here is building a number of stone plugs that we're going to drop through the cavern ceiling into the water below, so we can prevent other water from coming in. That's step 1. Step 2 is to pump all that water out so we can fight the frogs down there. And maybe clear out the tunnels down there, do some exploration, but we shall see. Again, starting to question if the hassle's worth it. It might very well not be. Heading back up here, looks like we have a new artifact made. We're going to take a look at that real quick, as it is on its way to a new chamber in our fortress that I would like to show off. Reg Shashdanlocum, a dwarven child, has created Thastitharam, a fungi wood amulet. He claims it as an heirloom in the name of the family ancestor Erush Vaultedcraft. Very cool. She must be very proud. Its name translates to the Carmine Cloister, and it is worth 10,700. This is a fungi wood amulet. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with cushion-cut sardonyxes, rectangular clear tourmaline cabochons, and point-cut chrysocolas. It is also decorated with fungi wood and encircled with bands of pear wood, rope reed, alpaca bone, and mountain goat leather. This object menaces with spikes of pear wood and mountain goat leather. It's a pretty basic artifact. There's some good gems on it, as well as a lot of details overall. When you get down to it, it's really not that bad, especially since, considering a dwarven child was the one who created it. I mean, goodness, the kid's only 3 years old. 3 years old. He was born here in the fortress. It's really kind of amazing, having a 3-year-old who was born in Northbridge, making an artifact. The entire influence of this artifact was founded here at the fortress. This artifact, despite its maybe a little bit boring appearance, is the heart of our fortress in a way. And to further prove that point, little Reg here has gifted it to Erush, who is his mother. Isn't that adorable? I really like that, especially considering that his mother Erush was the one who created Gasmertheras a while back. That was the gypsum amulet that we, extremely sadly, gave away to the goblins so that they wouldn't harass us, remember? His mother created that, and we gave it away. And so her little son created a new amulet and gave it to her. Isn't that beautiful? What a good kid. These dwarves don't yet have proper rooms up on the bridge, but we're going to make sure they get them. And when they do, we're going to make double sure this amulet gets placed in there. Absolutely will. Once again, good job both of you. Thank you very much. For now though, that artifact, which is currently sitting out on the coast, we have a much better place for it, and we have a dwarf actually bringing it to its place right now. We will just give them a second here. There you go, scoop it up, make sure the sea foam doesn't take it, or those damn crag children. Idrath bless them. We're getting it taken up here past all the fortress hubbub, high into our tower, and into our new museum. Isn't that lovely? a good place to display our artifacts proper. It's not too flashy in here, but it certainly gets the job done. I would like to get some nice gold laid down on the floors, maybe some silver or something. And really, when you get down to it, I would like to put some more artifacts in here too. But we don't have that many laying around, frankly. We have a couple in the nobles' quarters, we have a couple in the guild halls, but that's okay. They'll come in time, as long as we don't keep giving them away to the goblins, which I'm getting a feeling that those days might be over. Those bastards are gonna have to watch themselves if they show up again. Hell, maybe we'll start demanding artifacts from them. See how they like it. Ratty-ass bastards. Anywho, yes, museum. A relatively safe place for our treasures. Now then, moving straight along back down underground here to our watery frog tunnel, you'll note that we're being attacked again. They're sending another force through the tunnel, which is being absolutely squashed by our dwarves. These poor guys don't stand a chance against our fully armored squads. Masterwork iron goes a long, long way. We just have to be sure to keep our gear nice and oiled. So much water out here, it's terrible. And you know what's really terrible? This entire project. It's really a nightmare. Like, no joke, this water is all over the place. All the time. But we're just about ready to drop these plugs, I think. I think. Just one more quick look here. And yep, we have our northern plugs, 1, 2, 3, right here. Just have to detach this middle one. Then we have 2 more plugs right here, attached at different levels. This one's all linked up, detached, as is this one right here. Looking good. And then way down here, down this southern tunnel right here, which took a long time to dig out, by the way, we have this area right here and the last plug, which we're just detaching as we speak. This one's made out of sand. I don't know if it'll hold together after smashing through the floor. I don't see why it would, but it's worth a try, right? We'll see what happens. Okay, now looking over here, we have Eurist getting that last mechanism in place. Easy enough, it should be all linked up now. Okay. And with that, soldiers, I'm going to order you out of the tunnel. Gotta make sure you're well out of harm's way. There we go. We're going to get them all stationed up here. Come on out, you dwarves. I think that's about all of you. And so with that, if I could have someone come down here to pull this lever. And please, my goodness, no need to hurry. We have all day, I guess. Okay, here they come now. And here we go. A click. Hey, the sand held together. Oh, what the hell? Poor planning on our part. Didn't completely block off the flow of water over this way. That's really stupid. We just have to drop another plug somewhere over here, and I think we could do it, in quick and dirty fashion. No, hopefully not too dirty, though. Don't need to go losing dwarves over this. Let's see. Oh, no. It looks like we've disturbed something in the caverns with that plug drop there. The forgotten beast send me, Ocel has come. A towering, scaly flatworm. It has thin wings of stretched skin, and it has a gaunt appearance. Its green-yellow scales are large and close set. Beware its deadly spittle. And the thing is right down here, too, at the mouth of the frog cavern. And it is slithering straight in. It's already killed a couple of frogs, and remember, there's many more out here. We just can't see them at the moment. Evidenced by the spittle that this creature is blasting out all over the place. Looking over here, though, we have a bit of a problem. One of our miners, Ablel, has climbed out over the water, and so has a whole mass of frogs. Not too sure how he ended up out here. Must have made a misstep and is now panicking, trying to get back home. But man, he's maneuvering very well. Really giving it to these frogs. He's already killed 2 and wounded another one. Hang in there, my friend. Literally, please. Checking back on that beast. The frogs have pushed it up to the mouth of our tunnel, and it seems hardly wounded at this point. I wish we could see more of those frogs. I'm curious how they're holding up. Ablel over here has been pushed into a corner. That's not going to end well at all for the guy, I don't think. But he is still fighting. He's getting tired now. Back over here at our tunnel. And there we go. Okay, the frogs have taken down the beast. They've hewn off one of its wings, and it has fallen. Thankful for that. Back to Ablel, who doesn't seem to be hanging from the cavern ceiling anymore. And sure enough, the poor guy has fallen. But man, he gave those frogs one hell of a fight. For being a miner hanging from the ceiling, during a forgotten beast fight, he ended up killing at least 3 frogs, injuring a couple others. Damn shame. I knew he wasn't gonna make it, but still unsure how he ended up out there. Well, we're gonna make sure to get him properly memorialized. This guy's a hero. Gonna have to retrieve his body at some point too, and that's not gonna be an easy task, I don't think, but we're going to do it. Alright, well, back to it. Well, first off, I should say we have to deal with these frogs. There's a group of them heading up towards the dwarves right now. Seems they're all riled up because of that beast attack. Couldn't blame them. It's okay though, our warriors are heading straight down. Shouldn't be much of a problem, I'm hoping. But my goodness, looks like there was an awful lot more of them in this tunnel than I anticipated. Hang in there, dwarves. Yeah, that'll do it right there. I'm praying to Idrath these dwarves go no farther. Go ahead, turn around, go back. Off with you. Okay, they're heading back. That is good, but they have left one dwarf behind, an injured dwarf. Catall. Looks like she suffered a pretty terrible leg injury. I think she's going to recover, but right now she can't walk. So I'm hoping somebody comes to recover her and bring her to the hospital. Yeah, okay, here comes someone. There we go. Hang in there, Catall. We're gonna bring you right to the hospital, get you the help you need. You're gonna be just fine, my friend. But what the hell happened here? Looking at the hospital now, it seems something has occurred. There are a lot of injured dwarves right now. I was gonna say I don't think many of them are seriously injured, but it's kind of hard to parse it out right now. There are so many in here. Yeah, just looking at the information at hand, it seems a couple of our crabbier dwarves took the opportunity while we were distracted out in the caves to throw their tantrums. Luckily nobody was killed. But yeah, there are quite a few woundings, as you can see by our full hospital beds here. Besmar, the chief medical dwarf, is trying to get everything sorted out. It seems like he's on top of things. Probably helps that we have a source of water now. Relatively easy to get everyone cleaned up, but still, it's an awful lot. Oh, damn it. Seems I was incorrect about there being no losses to that scuffle. Having a look over here, we could see Olan Tanrith, the cat, who belonged to Stakhud, the hero of Deadbody, Nokortrad. Somebody took their anger out on this poor animal, left him dead here in our meeting hall. Well, that's pretty terrible. Stakhud's a pretty highly respected dwarf in this fortress. I don't think it'd be totally improper to give this cat a little tomb somewhere, but we do have to find a place to store this little body until we can do that. Poor thing. Yeah, we're gonna try our best to do right by this little cat, but for now we have some work to do, dwarves. Looking back down underground here, you can see our project tunnels. We're still trying to get that one quick and dirty plug in place, and we've decided to err on the side of caution. Not so quick, but also not quite as dirty. Though that being said, the frogs are still giving us trouble down here. It really is never ending with these guys. As I said before, we're trying to make this screw pump down here so that we can suck the water out of the frog cave and just kind of blow it back over this way here. But we've run into a bit of an issue because there's so much water coming through where we're going to put this screw pump that we can't construct it here. And so we've had to come and build another screw pump up top here to clear away the water from the area where we're going to build the actual screw pump. It's a whole mess. Just figured I'd give you an update. We're going to keep this project going in the background for now, just till it's ready, I guess. Soon enough. Of course, on the subject of waterworks, we do have some extremely good news right up over here. In our meeting hall, we just got the finishing touches in place, and damn it, if this doesn't make for a successful mist generator, then we are truly damned by Idrath, because, I mean, this has to work. It has to. Observe real quick. We have our 2 mist generators right here. The water comes down at this little nook right here, and we have 2 grates in front of where it's going to be dropping down, right? So if there's any overflow, it's going to fall down through those grates, where it's now just open. Completely open. There's 2 levels of just open space blocked in by grates, and then the sea is on the other side. This has to be successful, right? There's no possible way this could fail. There's so much space for that water to go. It's gonna be fine, right? Absolutely. And so with success virtually guaranteed, let's get these windmills spinning. You can see they are already quicker than I expected. And oh my god. Okay, never mind. Seemingly we're too late in the year now, and it just froze up inside the pump. Never mind, I guess. I'm totally confident this is gonna work. So confident, in fact, that I'm not going to look back here until things thaw, and hopefully I can check back in on time. It's not gonna flood, though. Anywho, yeah, that's gonna take some time, I think. As such, we can have a look at some other projects we have going on here in Northbridge, like over here in our guild tower, which is looking pretty good still. And if we take a gander downwards, you can see some of the completed levels. or ones that are soon to be completed anyways. Like, well, we have this level right here. This is the one that we're currently working on, and as you might be able to guess, this here is going to be a guild hall for the Fisher Dwarves, which is a pretty small guild here in Northbridge. As such, it's not too well appointed, but it's a good place where they can hang out, do some fishing off the dock here over to the east. This here is right at sea level, so I figured that'd be perfect for it. Still not totally sure what we're going to put in this hall over here in the west, but I'm thinking maybe a carpenter or woodcutter's guild. Again, that's a pretty small guild, so I'll play it by ear. Down below that level there, you can see we have an unfinished level. Just kind of a, half of a church floor is in place. Oh, what's that right over the ledge there? It's our metalsmith's guild. Isn't that nice? Made mostly out of tetrahedrite, which is a metal ore. Got all those nice tables in place, a little engraving around the outside there, and a couple of workshops in here, metalsmith workshops with nice steel anvils, and also a steel forge as well. Oh, and right in the middle there we have a jet bridge, just kind of like a, like a raised platform. Just surrounded by tables and some nice statues and stuff. Looking pretty good, right? And below that we have another well-appointed guild hall. This one here is for the farmers. It's made out of jet, just like the other one, the old farmers guild, down in the mines. Figured we'd keep that motif going, Still a little sloppy in here, but I mean, it's pretty much where it's going to be. All the engravings, all the nice statues of plants, a whole variety of plant statues in here, and dwarves laboring. Also a couple of farmers' workshops, and plenty of places to sit, too. Really very nicely appointed. Man, oh man, hold up one second here. Had a little action we missed here in the fortress. Captain Kruggsmash was laying down the law. The Skewer brother was throwing a tantrum and he punched some other dwarf. Didn't wound anybody too badly, I don't think. But the same can definitely not be said for the Skewer brother who was killed by Kruggsmash. The Skewer brother had taken part in that fighting before. He wasn't the one who killed the cat, but he did injure a few other dwarves. There were many witnesses to the crime, and so he was convicted. Just recently, though, he was throwing another tantrum, and Kruggsmash went and beat the hell out of him so severely that he died. Yeah, hate to see it, certainly, but dwarven justice can be pretty brutal sometimes. Note, too, that when we first checked in on Kruggsmash, he was carrying Kosov, another retired Saltbridge dwarf, who also took part in that fighting earlier, and was convicted, and was also beaten by Kruggsmash, who he then generously dragged off to the hospital. And I gotta say, too, that this guy is in a stellar mood these days. Nothing can take this guy down. I guess he just never struck me as a type to just carry on with no problems through very dark situations, but here we are. Nothing bothers this guy. Well, thanks for maintaining the law in some fashion there, Kruggsmash. Maybe a little bit more gentle next time, though, huh? Goodness. Anywho, I know we were just looking at our guild tower right before that, but I believe our water tunnel is good to go. And so with that, let's get things rolling, so we can be done with this project already, huh? Okay, dwarves, I'm gonna have you back up a little bit here, out of the danger zone, thank you very much. And now we just have to pull this lever one last time, hopefully. And click, thank you very much. And there we go, excellent. Water flow has been completely blocked from this section of cavern over here. Frogs can still get in, and probably out too, but at least once we drain this water out, we can fight safely over here. Give ourselves a little safe zone, that's kind of the whole point of this project. But of course,
you're moving warm, so I can...
More distractions, it sounds. Let's go have a look up on the surface.
Dwarves of Northbridge, it is time to come out from your little fortress and be smashed into paste.
The giant Eker the Mighty has come. A gigantic creature resembling a human, almost unparalleled in size.
Oh, little dwarfies, it is time to come out and play.
Okay, alright. We have a giant here, and it looks like he's ready and raring to go, ready to smash some dwarves into paste, I suppose. He must have been walking down the shore and saw our bridge here. Well, we are in luck, because the soldiers are right at hand at the moment.
Do not be scared of Eker the Mighty, hiding in your little dwarfy holes underground. Oh, we shiver, we grab onto our beards, we crying in our minds. I promise I make it so quick for you. I taking you, I putting you on ground, and I stomp you into dirt. It being lots of fun. I promise. Ah, it's a dwarfy hole. Oh, naughty dwarf, you make me come after you down in the dwarfy hole, but I am smelling you and I am finding you. There you are, little dwarves.
Yeah. Again, a testament to dwarven skill, both at metal crafting and the use of such metal crafts. Looks like the combat started with him getting stabbed in the liver, and then the leg, which took him down. And then there was just a flurry of stabs just unleashed on this poor thing. And it was all finished off with a stab to the head, which tore the brain. Well, rest in peace, you big bastard. We're gonna have to get this thing hauled out of here now, more of a mess than anything. Grab the winches, dwarves. Got some work ahead of us. Anywho, back over this way here. We're just now putting the finishing touches on this little pump project over here, and we're ready to get that water flowing, I think. Just building a little safety wall around the pump itself. Trying to make it so that not so many frogs can sneak in, just for safety's sake, you know. Anyways, yes, that's completed now, and somebody should be on their way to start pumping the water out. Eager to see how this goes, though I am a little afraid that a dwarf might still fall into this water here. It's just so turbulent in this area, you know? Kinda dangerous. Ah, yes, but here we go. A dwarf is on their way. Just a moment now. And let's see, there it goes. Wow, it's a lot of water. Like a real lot of water, too. You can see it sucking it right out of that cavern and pumping it up here to the north. And these tunnels up here are completely filled right now, to the point where I don't think even any water can come in. Should have made a bigger drain pipe, I guess. Oh well, seems to be working well enough. Oh, but having a look down here, one of the frogs is scurrying over towards the pump. And yeah, sure enough, that dwarf scurried off smartly. Unsurprisingly, it looks like the frogs don't want us sucking the water out of this cavern. Okay, well that frog is wandering away now, so maybe this will just take a couple tries. Hoping it doesn't get too risky for the civilians. Got a new dwarf coming in, getting work pumping, and wasn't for quite as long this time. Scared away by a frog again. Yeah, they really don't want dwarves messing with that water. That's a problem. Yeah, we're just gonna keep at this then. We'll get it eventually, I'm sure. Okay, we keep on trying over here. As you can see, we have dwarves running over, using the pump for just a few moments, and then a frog will scare them away. Kinda tedious. Every once in a while the things run up and they try to chase the dwarf, but our soldiers are right at hand, so it's not a problem. Okay. That's a big one. Oh man, that's a real big one right there. Oh hell yeah, there we go. Pumping away, really getting that water. And not too sure what's going on with this frog down here. You can see it kind of peeking in every once in a while. But this dwarf seems fully unperturbed. Excellent. Okay. Yeah. This is one of the best pumps we've had so far. By a stretch, too. Yeah, but right on cue, here comes a frog to scare him away. Oh, you little bastard. Okay. Well, still, that seemed to do the trick pretty darn well. Looking below here, you can see the water's a bit tumultuous right now. Down to a level about, 6 of 7. So really, even for one big pump like that, it still didn't quite do the trick. We're gonna have to get a couple more sessions like that. And we will, soon enough. We're just gonna keep at it. Anywho, we're gonna head back up to the surface for a little bit now, where you can see we do have some projects well underway. Some pretty scary projects, considering it currently is the 2nd of Obsidian, and we really don't have that much time left. Yes, over here you can see we have 3 tombs going up. One for the Skewer brother, one for Ablel, that ceiling-swinging miner, whose body we still need to recover, and one for Olan Tanrith, the cat, and Stakud. We figured we'd give them a joint tomb up over here. Both Olan and Skewer brother are interred currently. Ablel's still underwater, so there's not much we could do. But yeah, these tombs are looking pretty good. Just gotta get those windows in place now, and close up our fortress wall. That's kind of a biggie. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time though. And also towards our guild tower here, we have some pressing concerns. Well, first off, look at that dock, ain't that nice? Very pretty, but yes, we've decided to implement some gem windows into our guild master's quarters, but that's gonna require us putting them in place so that the ocean doesn't rush in and murder everyone. I think we could pull it off though. Not too concerned. We still got a decent chunk of time. Dwarves just have to move their keisters. Let's get to it, you bastards. Don't got all winter. Oh boy, I'm gonna tell you what we don't need right now is whatever the hell is going on underground. Not the time. Let's have a look. The forgotten beast Bax Rusmobax Oots Asno has come. A huge, scaly tick. It has a pair of squat antennae and it has a gaunt appearance. Its eggplant scales are round and close set. Beware its deadly blood. Substellar. Definitely substellar. Worst time possible for it too. All of our warriors right at the moment are out at the project tunnel. So we have no way to fend this beast off, and I know there are peasants in the area. But at this point I've already forbidden all the tasks over here, and I'm hoping they get to safety. They should be. There we go. The peasants took down this forgotten beast. Didn't even need the damn warriors. Go figure, huh? Worried about nothing. Excellent work, my dwarves. That was brilliant. Of course, even more brilliant was this dwarf's performance in that fight right there. Stukos, the bone carver. Nobody of great importance, really. Not previously anyways. Just kind of an unnotable figure, really. A bone carver and former hunter. He was equipped with a crossbow, which he used to beat that tick. Really took its attention off the others. And he's a pretty skilled fighter too, apparently. He did get a bit wounded during the fighting, but not too terribly bad. I mean, here he is. He's heading up to the hospital now. But he's gonna pull through just fine, I think. In fact, you know, because it was all peasants fighting that tick, they didn't like break it open or make it bleed or anything like that, so they didn't end up getting any deadly blood on them, which is just excellent. Yeah, they're all gonna pull through absolutely fine, I think. Of course, we're gonna keep our eyes open just to be sure, but I'm fairly confident of it. Good job once again, my friend. Now then, back up here to the surface, we have some stuff that is kind of really stressing me out. It is the 8th of obsidian right now, which means it's about to be, warm enough for the sea to thaw. And if you have a look over here at our guild tower, you can see that these gem windows aren't yet in place. This one here is above the sea level, but this one here is not. This comical chamber, the one filled with 4 children, who are standing right next to this quickly thawing sheet of ice. The sea, that is. Really hoping we can get this window in place, because I don't really have a great way to get these children out of here right now. Go ahead, kids, get the hell out of here, please. It's the 9th of obsidian right now. 9th of obsidian, and the sea thaws on the 11th, so we don't really have that big a chunk of time left. We only got the 2 children in here now, so only 1 child, okay. But still, I would really rather we just got this wall up. 10th of obsidian. You know, I was confident that we can get this thing in place, and I still have some hopes that we could do it. Oh, I think that's the last one. I didn't check. It was. Okay, so good. That gem window's in place now. Cool. And yes, that's going to do it for all of the windows here. Thank Idrath for that. My goodness. Yeah, no worries now. Now then, back over this way here towards our actual fortress, we have something far more exciting to watch, and that is our waterwork project. Remember, it's all in place now, it's just kind of iced up inside, but I think this is gonna work. It had better goddamn work. It has to work. There's no way it won't work. Like, actually. It'd be ridiculous if it didn't work, is what I'm saying. Let's just watch. It's the 11th right now, and okay, just thawed out. Just waiting to see that beautiful water come dropping down over here in these drains. I'm not seeing anything. That is bothersome. Maybe just give it a moment. The pump is spinning, so the water is going somewhere, right? Ah, okay, so there's still ice inside the pumps, it seems. Of course, I do not know why that would be. Well, that's dumb. Okay, give me a second here, cripes. Okay, so what we're gonna do is set up a couple of levers here hooked up to these windmills so we can turn them off and on easy. Something we should have done by this point, I guess. And now what we're gonna do is come in here, break down these walls, and crack this ice out of here. Though I do find it strange that there's ice in here at all. I don't see a great reason for it. Okay, just like that one right there. So I'd have to imagine there's a good chance it'll work now. Let's get those walls rebuilt and have a look. Okay, thank you. Thank you. And now we're gonna... Why did the windmills break? Okay, we're gonna rebuild these windmills, and then we're gonna pull those levers. Okay, and here we go, they're rebuilt. Now let's pull these levers and get that water flowing. And here we go. Just waiting to see all that beautiful mist billowing out of our mist generators. Any moment now. Is it not enough? How much toil do you require, Idrath? This is getting crazy. Why is this not working? Oh, I see. Stupid. One moment. Gotta clear out this sheet of ice right here. Okay, ended up being a little bit more tedious than I had hoped it would be, but had to knock down a wall, and then build some staircases up here, and then knock out another wall. And I should note, we've had to rebuild those windmills again, too. It's kind of been a giant pain in the butt. But yes, we are on the cusp of clearing this ice out now, and... Okay, what the hell was that? I saw that. We carved that ice away, some water got sucked up, and immediately turned into ice again, which I suppose I shouldn't be too shocked at this point. Here, let's try over the other side. Skipping ahead a little bit, yep. Okay, there it goes. You saw that, right? The water came up and turned to ice immediately, so I guess we have some sort of an isolated Arctic patch here in our water pump, where water will just always turn into ice. You know what? I think I'm over this whole project, if I've got to be honest. Oh man, looking up in our damn meeting hall, Frog Stomp is throwing a tantrum and beat the hell out of our Jaguar, and he killed it. The Jaguar that we've had since the beginning. Not okay, okay. Idrath, save us all, please. We need your mercy at this point. Mandrill, I'm so sorry this happened. Anyways, okay, at this point, we all just have to pray, my dwarves. We're gonna get through this, and Northbridge is gonna be even more powerful and even more magnificent than before. I can guarantee it, and we all know it's true. I mean, come on. Just gotta have patience and faith, I suppose. Idrath, save us all. And with that, my bearded bastards, we're gonna start talking about some behind-the-scenes things. Okay, first and foremost, our frog situation. There are an awful lot of those things down there, and I've been told many times that the whole Cavern invasion thing is a bit of a bug right now. In fact, seemingly, according to what I've heard, they could just keep popping up down there and slow the game down an awful lot. Like I've heard people say, they crack open the caverns and there could be like 1,000 frogs just waiting down there, which I believe, because that's sort of the situation we're running into here, right? And it's whatever. Honestly, I don't really think the game's running a lot slower than when I've had a 200 plus Dwarf Fortress in the past. So I'm not too sure how big a part those frogs are playing in the slowdown, but I'm not sure. That being said, I mean, we're kind of behind the scenes now, seeing how the sausage is made. The dwarves' motivation for going down into the tunnels and getting rid of the frogs is because they want to protect themselves. They essentially have a cavern full of serial killers just below their feet. We'd rather just not have them there, But from a utilitarian standpoint, it will be neat if the game actually speeds up a bit. Still, at this particular juncture, there's an awful lot of frogs down there. If we could just clear them out, then we could see how much of a difference it makes, Plus, I would like to explore some more down there. Remember that, it was like in the second episode, Sarvesh, the miner, had gone out and found that little gem cluster there that we hacked into. I'd like to see if we could find any more of those out there. I mean, you never know. We haven't even fully explored the first cavern layer. I just want to see what's out there. And back to the subject of frogs, I'm hearing a lot of comments about us not being thankful to the frogs because they've been protecting us from forgotten beasts this whole time, and I could understand where you're coming from, but you have to remember, the frogs are only here to kill dwarves. They are here to murder every single one of us, every child, every baby. They would kill every single one of us if given the chance. They're not protecting us out of the kindness of their hearts, And on that same token, we could make friends with them even if we wanted to. We can kind of play pretend, sure, but you gotta keep in mind, as far as the Dwarf Fortress standpoint, these frogs always want to kill dwarves. Every single one of us, too. If they would just leave us alone, then we would certainly leave them alone. And if it was possible to ally with them, we definitely would. Because that'd be cool. I hope that's added in the future, actually. Some way to ally yourselves with the Cavern civilizations. Wouldn't that be cool to get wagons underground? Actually, I wish there was a whole multitude of ways to, interact with your neighbors more than just, combat and war and being robbed and stuff. What if we could send an envoy to the elves, try to, make peace, or, Man, I don't even like to speculate about Dwarf Fortress stuff like this because it just gets you so excited for stuff that's probably never going to happen. But imagine if you could send an envoy out to the elves and just be like, hey, we want to make peace with you. And then they returned with some sort of ambassador or something like that. And you had to the elven ambassador was part of your fortress at that point. You had to protect them. And if something happened to them, then it just made the elves mad. But as long as you kept them alive, it would prevent war. I don't know, just a cool little thing that I'm sure will never happen. Ooh, minor grievance about the Steam release. Again, it's something I've meant to note since the very beginning, but I have noticed that nicknamed dwarves will lose their nicknames periodically, and I'm not 100% what causes that. I've noticed it mostly with the warrior dwarves, the ones who get nicknames for doing special feats and whatnot. I don't know if they kill a certain number of things and they get their own, game-generated nickname if it replaces the one that you gave them or something. Though that doesn't seem to be the case, actually, now that I think of it. I've seen some nicknamed dwarves just walking around without their nicknames anymore, for no discernible reason. Kind of annoying. Just because, you get some dwarf named Gashud and you start naming him Kurzkrag, and then 3 years in-game later, you got a fortress filled with 200 dwarves and they lose their nickname. What's the chance you're going to remember their name? I'm lucky I remembered what Kurzkrag's original name was, because he's lost his nickname a couple times now. But that maybe that's just me, actually. With the Steam release here, it makes it a bit easier to have a whole bunch of game files, your save files, which makes backing up to earlier saves a lot easier for recording purposes, Well, actually, in this episode here, when we pulled that lever and dropped those stone plugs down, I was able to reload that save several times and get footage of like each of the stone plugs falling down into its place. Whereas in actuality, it just happens in one single moment. Anyways, I have a lot of these save files now and they take up an enormous amount of space in my computer, so I think I've deleted the wrong files at some point, like not the actual save game files as is evidenced by this episode here, but I think there's another file in there that like holds all of the image information and stuff, like, I'm not too sure. I think there's another save file that I've deleted or something, because like all the custom statues that I've painstakingly created over the time of this fortress here, I lost those at some point, so now if you look at one of the statues, it just says like it's a statue of a dwarf. Or it's a statue of like whatever the subject was, but they're not doing the things that I told it to do. And I have a feeling it's because I deleted some sort of a file or something. I don't know. Kind of a pain in the butt. I'm just rambling at this point. Anyways, my bearded bastards, I'm gonna let you go for now. I hope you had a lot of fun today. And truthfully, I'm not too sure how long this fortress has now. I think we're getting to it though. May seem a bit sudden, but there's always gonna be more Dwarf Fortress to come, so don't you worry your little beards about it. And with that, I hope to see you here next time in Idrath Kor I Roll Sazir, Northbridge. And until then, you bearded bastards,